Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dean Callan Show. Today is episode 70 something, 74, I think. I'm now starting to introduce the episodes with the number so that I remember what number all the episodes are, because it just comes up episode in my hard drive of episodes, and I never remember. I don't log them very well. So this is my attempt. You know, in the old days when people needed to know what take it was, they'd have like a take board thing and go, that's basically what I'm doing now. So I know where I stand. So today, as is most days, you know, I've kind of prepped, I've got everything turned on, but we have nothing really prepared for the show other than Zdenek, Kastankek, and Mitch Bushell, the legends, right? So I'm going to cut straight to them because they're already waiting. They're waiting in the wings, like in the green room. And put them on screen straight away. Morning, boys.
Morning, mate. Morning, Z.
Morning, gentlemen.
So Z, can you see the screen?
I can see you and I can see Mitch walking around, yes.
All right, so check this out. Ready? Watch this. Do you see that? Did you notice? No one noticed. Yeah, man. That took me like 20 minutes. Look. Hey. No? Look on the bar.
No.
Just look here. Look here. See that? See there?
Yeah, I can't see. I can't see the bar.
I
can see you.
All right, whatever. Other people might be able to see it.
What is it supposed to do?
A logo just popped up on the bar on the live screen.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's your logo, dude. I thought you'd be like, oh, nice. You know?
I mean, I want to see it, but I can't.
Yeah, so I kind of thought, I now know how to just on and off this. Look. So I can be like, this cocktail is brought to you by ecoSPIRITS. Right? Is that cheesy?
Awesome. No, I mean, that's very Dean.
Yeah, right? Put a brand. If I could get 3 brands across there, that'd be even better. Oh, now that I think about it, I could put your names underneath. I should have thought of that. I should have thought of that. Next time.
Feat of engineering I've just done.
All right. So, guys, today, so for those watching the show that have no idea what the shit is going on, Zdenek Kastankek is like a super old friend of mine. We've known each other for like 15 years now.
Yeah.
Mitch, are we like on 13 or something now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be exactly it. 13.
We've known each other for a long time as well. And as you know, myself and Mitch do the show all the time. And Z has just recently moved from Singapore, where he was in control of Asia. You know, like a big
control
boss
of
man.
Asia.
And now he's
Asian overlord.
Now he's like top secret, just suddenly moved to the US with plans for world domination.
Well, no, it wasn't supposed to be that way. My project I'm working on now is supposed to make me to be in Asia all the time, but this lovely coronavirus thingy made me stuck here, and anyone else to be stuck in all of the different parts of the world. So it wasn't secretly moving. It was. Well, I don't really have to tell people that I'm moving because I'll be back here all the time, and that didn't work out.
But you're based in Miami now.
I'm based in Miami, yes.
Miami's your new home.
Yeah,
Okay.
That's where wifey and dog lives, so I think I can call it home.
yeah, that's your home. So and now you're working as the brand on the bar top somewhere here. It's all in reverse from what I can see. Says you're working with ecoSPIRITS, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the whole story of ecoSPIRITS is that the company, which I've been part of for quite some time in Singapore and Asia, and now Australia too, actually, called Proof and Company, have started developing this idea of could we do a distribution a little bit differently? Could we save the glass? Could we save the cardboard? Could we as well as save some carbon emissions? And if we do it well, maybe we can even save some cost for the bars who will be using these products. That started 3.5 or so years ago. And now we are actually at stage where we are happy to show it to the world and launch it outside of Asia Pacific. And therefore, that's why I am to be closer to the other markets, because we have an awesome team in Asia Pacific. So they don't really need me over there. And so I'm like hello, traveling salesman. I've got a little bit of ecoSPIRITS here for you, type of thing. Well,
We're just two crazy party guys, two chick guys. Okay, cool. So you're basically doing everything for ecoSPIRITS, right? Like sales, marketing.
Outside of Asia Pacific, I am the one who is trying to talk to people about getting it to the rest of the world. Yes. In Asia Pacific, we have a great team who is actually feeding me what I need. Okay,
so the premise of today, and obviously it's my show, so like we're winging it, right? As you guys clearly know, like I literally called you 7 minutes ago. So basically, with no plan, and I thought it'd be good if I'm asking you questions, having been in the brand world for so long. As far as I understand it, you're working on your company is working on a couple of brands, including like Macintosh and Widges, but they're available in ecoSPIRITS, but they're standalone brands, and ecoSPIRITS is like a technology, like a Tetra Pak. It's like a new style of bottle as opposed to an overarching spirit brand. Is that right?
100%. ecoSPIRITS is, as you said, it's technology. So it needs a liquid to exist. ecoSPIRITS on its own, it's a hardware. It's the bottling plants which needs to be built in the cities where ecoSPIRITS are available. It's the little eco-totes. I have it here. This little green keg, which is basically a glass cylinder and in a casking, so if you drop it, it doesn't break. And that's it. It needs a liquid to be inside there. And so people like Plantation's rum are part of it. So, if you buy Plantation rums in Asia Pacific, they are available in ecoSPIRITS.
Oh, nice. Okay.
As he said, Widges Gin is part of it, Macintosh Scotch. There are other local heroes which are currently being signed up. I can't really say it out loud because it's going to be launched.
Hasn't happened yet.
In coming days, but you will see other small, super cool, fun brands out of Australia or China or other parts of the Asia to be available in ecoSPIRITS. ecoSPIRITS, as you said, it's a technology, it's a vessel, and it's up to brands to be part of it.
Okay, so
is the top, is that the only in and out? Like you're pouring from that top of it?
Well, the top is the only way to get in, yes. And it has a car seal here which you have to cut through. And that car seal has a number and the toad has a number. And so you can always backtrack when it was filled and what was in there and all. So it's way safer than a normal cardboard box of any boost for the counterfeit perspective. And once you open it, we have 3 different ways to get the liquid out there. Depends on what the market requires. Some market requires a specific machinery which allows you to get exact amount of the liquid from it. Some markets allows repouring. It depends on what market you're in.
So do you know, just to clarify, if you supply, say I buy a eco tote of Plantation pineapple, right? Because I love that stuff. And it arrives. I'm not picking the thing up and pouring. How much does it weigh?
It's exactly same as your in-flight luggage. So it's 7.6 kilos when it's full.
Oh, my in-flight luggage is like 27 kilos. I just pretend.
When was the last time you went traveling with Dean?
I just pretend it doesn't weigh a lot. I'm all like la 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 la. But if anyone gets a hold of it, I'm getting kicked off the plane.
Let me rephrase it. Normal human being in-flight luggage, it's 7 kilos is a maximum, right?
Okay.
And so this is rough, a little bit over 7.5 kilos, and it's done that way. So and I don't mean it any bad. in any, we were living in a racist world these days, forever. But for all of the smaller nations in Asia, like Philippines and Vietnam and etc., they are great bartenders and then great hosts. They working in all of the best bars. If you look at it from Asia Pacific perspective, it would be hard for them to carry anything super heavy, and not everyone has a strength like you. So
what you're saying is we made it a size that's appropriate for the ergonomics and for people's health and safety. So it's not too heavy. Is that what you mean?
It's 4.5 liters, so it's exactly half of a 9-liter as well.
Okay, yeah, and it's a 9-liter equivalent case. It's the same as getting.
It's a 6-pack of 750s.
Yeah, exactly. I was just gonna say, I thought it weighed like 25, 30 kilos because of this video. I'm just gonna play this. This is all that I could find.
Lorenzo, what are you doing?
Sustainable workout. Beautiful, eco thoughts.
Biceps workout.
Yeah, yes. Lorenzo's there doing this. I didn't realize it was only 7 kilos. Right,
well,
so
7.5 kilos in each hand it's a good full workout.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's Italian. Leave it alone.
And Macintosh, is that a blend that you guys got done for you?
Yes.
Or is it a brand that's actually already on the market?
So these are
it's on the market.
But that's in your book as well. That's a proof blend, correct? Like that's been blended by you and Widge or something.
It was created by our team, but it's living its own life, and it's starting to get out of the market under its own brand. And so in Asia Pacific, if you would buy it, it would be distributed by Proof & Company. But anywhere else, it will be distributed by people who we would like to work with.
Right, gotcha.
And that's separate to ecoSPIRITS. So it's kind of like if Bacardi or Pernod Ricard or Diageo had built a separate to their main spirits business, had built this technology to start sending things out rather than bottles.
It's the same thing, but from the perspective of as a company, you guys know the story of Proof & Company a little bit. It's full of bartenders, and so there's always a little dream of everyone to try to create their own brands. And so for after years of thinking about it, being exposed to a brand owners, brand producers, visiting so many distilleries, the idea was always there. And then with ecoSPIRITS coming along as an idea, it became pretty clear that we need brands to be part of this. And Plantations came on board right away, and they loved the idea, so which was great, and that's where we started. But being able to create our own idea of what we believe that Scotch whiskey could look like for house pour was just too good not to do. So because we have so many good fun partners around, it was we were able to do it.
And Z, the one I've got, is that the one that's the same stuff that you've got, right?
The one you've got is the only 100 milliliters taster I saved from 2 days of blending in UK when I was there when we were doing the blending last year.
But it's the same as the end product, or is it like
it's exactly the same as the end product. This was the end blend.
It's tasty.
Thank you.
And was it the same for the tequila as well? You guys went and partnered with, or was that an existing brand that I'm just not familiar with?
With tequila, we've been friends with Jake Lustig of Terra Nova and Enrique Fonseca from 1146, Nom from Tequiliena forever. I mean, we helped bring the Don Fulano and Cimarron and all of these guys into Asia 8 years ago. And so we became kind of a family type of thing. So we always wanted to work on tequila no matter what, and mezcal. And so that was just a no-brainer that, we just basically said, okay, that now it's a great opportunity because we have another reason to create tequila. And it's Arquitecto is its own recipe, own blend, own fermentation, and it's called Arquitecto because Enrique himself started as an architect, or he's got a master's degree as an architect.
But Enrique's the one. He's your grower, he's your distiller, and he's your bottler.
Yeah.
Well, he's a fucking major player in the grower market, though, right? Like his whole family is started in this whole business as a growers. They didn't have a distillery until 1987. Yeah.
The whole story is pretty funny. You will enjoy this, Dean. They basically, Enrique's father signed a contract with Jose Cuervo and Sousa at that time to be one of the major supplier for all of the agave plants. And so Fonseca family being famous for cultivating agave, they got this contract, signed it, started growing all of the agave based on projection for Sousa and Cuervo. Voila, 3-4 years into a contract, that contract was somehow not existent, I guess. I wasn't living in 87. Oh, I wasn't there, obviously. But that's what happened to them. And so instead of throwing away this agave, Enrique went to Scotland and learned how to distill on alembic stills and column stills. And then came back and bought a distillery from Bacardi, which is today the Tequilieña distillery. It was owned by Bacardi back in the day. And it had alembic still and column still in it. And he started distilling in 1990. So, 30 years.
Wow. That's super. That's available in your ecoSPIRITS packs.
Yep.
Because I am very aware that I wanted to have an episode that if someone watched it, they'd know what ecoSPIRITS were and what it meant for them in their bar if they were thinking about taking it on. So, for example, I take on Widges, I take on Macintosh, and I take on the tequila. It's Arquitecto, right?
Yeah.
And they come in those, but you supply bottles that I can then hand into, and depended on which market I'm in, they might come out of a very specific extraction method that allows only the right amount to come out so that nothing can be put back in. Or it might be a case of being able to open it and decant it. And then once they're in the bottle...
For decanting, we have a special nozzle which you screw on top. So the decanting is very easy and you can go straight to the bottle.
Okay. And there's no like, contaminants or anything like that, right?
No, I mean, it's the same thing. And the reason why we created multiple version of how to get the liquid out is just to be able to, say that we are trying our absolute best to play by the rules and not being in a gray area. But anything what's pioneering is always a little bit of a gray area. And so, I mean, if you look at Airbnb or Uber, the way how they started business and then basically back for forgiveness, we are not doing that. We're trying to be, aware of all of the rules everywhere around us. And so some countries care about repouring more than the others. But you look at the world, everyone's been doing barrel aged cocktails. Everyone's doing pre-mix before shift because it's much faster. Everyone's doing bottled cocktails. All of that is 100% opening a container of alcohol and repouring it into another container.
Look, in fairness, you put that in the top of a bottle,
Yeah, that's it.
You have to account for where that come from. So as soon as
you're talking about contamination.
Yeah, as soon as you do that, I'm just trying to round it out so that if someone's watching this, in hindsight, later on down the line, they're thinking about getting ecoSPIRITS. They know they're not picking up a 4.5 liter and doing this. So you're
with that said, when we designed it 3 years ago, when we started designing it, it was all designed to be completely invisible to the end consumer because bulk at that time wasn't in front of everyone's eyes the best option for a martini. Now that changed hugely. Like we all can see what happened with straws last year. Everyone's way more cautious of sustainability and helping to be less wasteful, etc. So we now actually have bars who are our partners, especially in New Zealand and places like that, where people just have it on a back bar. And so they have it as a talking point and they can introduce it to people and etc. But it's never, you don't ever pour from the 4.5 liter. It's never sitting in the well or anything. It's it's most of the time back of a house thing.
And do you have to be a bar, or if you're an events company, you can buy them?
Oh, totally. We are in discussions with several different companies which are doing, selling bottled cocktails to retailers.
Yep.
And they super interested in it. If we have RTD cans, etc., that's perfect, because most of the people would be like, holy shit, I just, if I make one batch of my cocktails, I literally get 15 cases and I open them, pour it, and I keep throwing all of this away. If I get it in ecoSPIRITS, I literally have zero waste, because that tote, when it's empty, goes back into the bottling plant to be sanitized, refilled, resealed, and sent back out.
So it's a closed circle system. So for example, like, I know you're not in LA yet, but if, for example, you were to move to LA, what would the infrastructure look like for it to work in LA? What would you need to have? And right from the beginning, how does it work going to Mitch's bar and back?
Yeah, so it's the headache in America, which that's what's kind of what I'm working on the most now. It's the 3-tier system. Well, that's
sorry.
It was
low-hanging fruit. It was low-hanging fruit.
Luckily, I don't have to deal with that one. But and he's busy to be on Twitter. So, but it's in 3-tier system. You can't bring your own product and distribute it yourself. So basically, it needs to go through a few different steps. But once it's all set, the whole thing works same as anything else. Mitch, instead of ordering 2 cases of vodka, he orders 2 ecototes, because that equals 2 cases. Mm-hmm. It arrives, and then as he's going through it, as with any other orderings, he realized 2 days later, okay, I need more. He places order, and by the time we come back the next day with the delivery, we pick up the empty ones and give him the new ones. And then the empty ones go back into the bottling plant, which sits in LA, and then it's sanitized, refilled, and then sent back outside. In Singapore, we've been running this for almost 2 years quietly to troubleshoot and to be able to kind of learn how it works. And so in Singapore, we have what we call the hero totes, and they've done over 100 trips. So if you think about it's 4.5 liter and it has done 100 trips, that's 450 liters of liquid. That is around 650, 700 glass bottles, which would be otherwise thrown away. And they were not thrown away because he didn't have to distribute this 700 bottles up there. And that's for one of these. So imagine you have 1,000 of them in a city. Then it's 4,500 liters, right? And
nice. Et cetera. And an unbelievable amount of glass that's been saved.
Oh,
and carbon emissions
and fucking tape for boxes and taps and
Barbec's back.
Yeah.
It's just so much easier because it has a handle. It's just so much easier to carry anywhere or pick it up or put it. It has a lock-in system on the bottom. So when you put them on top of each other, they don't move.
Well.
Yeah, you can put 6 on top of each other and they would stay and would not move very, very easily. Look, it's the core base of this whole thing is to save carbon emissions, save the glass, and as well because we as a company gaining the savings from not purchasing glass, not purchasing labels, not purchasing cardboard, shipping in bulk, you don't ship the glass, so the shipping is cheaper all of a sudden. If you translate that to the final price, the actual bar in the end has the same quality, premium, but non-major produced, not mass-produced product. You can call it craft, you can call it small production, whatever you want to call it, which normally would cost way more than any other house pours. All of a sudden, it's coming to the level where the usual brands, as we know, would be placed. And
sorry, one quick question. So, for example, I'm a single malt brand, and I want Glenfiddich in totes in LA. Is there some things that you might have trouble with legislation? Like, for example, I'm not 100% sure if it's right, but it was my understanding that single malt has to be exported in the bottle. Like you can't send bulk.
You can 100%.
You can,
but yes, but you need to apply for a very special license.
Okay.
And you need to have a bottling facility approved by the HMS.
Okay, cool. So those sorts of things, you're working those out. If a brand approaches you and says, "I want to be able to do this," you're saying, "Right, these are the hoops we need to jump through," and you deal with the SWA, you deal with the tax and legislation in the local market. So basically, anybody around the world, any brand around the world, could be saving carbon emissions and saving barbacks backs by jumping on board with this. They just need to buy into the technology.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
okay.
And it's for us. Sorry, Mitch, just very quickly. For us, what's important as a company which started as a small company out on the back of Little Bar, 28 Hong Kong Street, working with brands which were tiny, small brands, and most of them still are small brands. The whole idea is that ecoSPIRITS to start with help the small brands to get better price point against the major producer brands. And so we are currently not talking to anyone major because of that reason. That doesn't mean that down the track, if someone comes to us and say, if you put this big brand in, you'll save 3 million glasses globally.
Yeah.
Well, then that is a different question, right? But currently, the idea is to help the smaller guys to have a better chance to score house pours. And
you're effectively helping them cut down on their cost of goods so that they can deliver a competitive price against the big guys.
Yeah,
very cool.
It's example. Singapore is a good example. The cost of plantation 3-star before ecoSPIRITS was $48-$49. And after putting it into ecoSPIRITS, it's 38 or 39. So that's kind of how you look at it from that perspective of a savings. And you look at Havana or Bacardi and these guys in Singapore, they would sell anywhere between 35 to 40, depends on your contract.
So it brings them down to a competitive price point. Yeah. Okay, very cool.
For smaller brands, which is quite a good segue into what I was going to ask is like brand identity, right? So you've got a small brand's coming up. They're trying to get noticed. Or, let's use Widgets as a case study. What are they decanting from the eco packs into the ecoSPIRIT? What that's decanting it? You guys are providing bottles?
Yeah. So if you look at this, for example, it is the new house pour.
Yeah, there you go.
It is the new house pour for Singapore Sling in Raffles Hotel.
Whoa! Really?
Yeah, so if you go to Long Bar and you order your Raffles Singapore Sling, it is based on Widgets. It as well has a Crowley's Grenadine, which is specifically done just for Raffles. It has dry curacao from Maison Ferrand. It doesn't have a control any other brands. It has Scrappy's bitters, which were made just for the Singapore Sling, no Angostura anymore, and so on. But they go through 1,000 Singapore Slings a day, and they pouring all of it with a Widgets bottle. And they kind of go through 4 to 5 months with each of the bottle before the label wears off. And then we need to provide them new bottles. But instead of throwing 52 or whatever it is on average bottles of gin alone a day, they now throwing 6 to 12 a month.
Wow.
Right.
That's kind of the idea.
Don't they premix? Like, why wouldn't they just like glug glug?
Oh, they do. No, of course, they do premix on the
main station. But that's in the background.
Okay. On the main station, they have a premix, but on the actual station, which stands in front of the customers, they still pouring normally.
I just love the level of attention to detail that the consultants that have come into the Raffles have taken, because I in 2006 went to the Raffles Hotel for a Singapore Sling, videotaped the whole thing. Very different to what it's like now. But I was like reading, I think it was Charles H. Baker's book, and he was talking about seeing the boats from the Long Bar. And I didn't know that the bars had moved. I was like, Charles H. Baker's full of shit. You can't see the ocean from here. The ocean.
Well,
moved.
it's
I didn't know that.
The bar moved.
Yeah.
But B, if you look at the address of Raffles Hotel, the address is Beach Road, because back in that time, the Raffles actually was on a beach.
Yeah.
It's just the economical growth of Singapore made it that now it's 17 blocks away from an actual water.
They just added more land, didn't they?
Oh, the whole island grows something like 2% of overall mass every year or something.
What?
Yeah, the island of Singapore works out, bro.
Hang on. So the Raffles, I haven't been to Singapore in a long, long time. The Raffles was originally on the beach, and now they've just grown 17 fucking blocks further out.
I don't know how many blocks, but it's definitely
Sure.
a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
but
fucking weird.
So anyway, back to what I was saying. I went there, did the whole Raffles Singapore sling thing, and then shared it on social media somewhere, a video of me being at the Raffles, and everyone cut me down. Everyone that was a bartender was like, man, those Singapore slings are terrible. They're terrible. You're not even supposed to drink those. If you're a proper mixologist, don't drink those. And I was like, have you been? And they were like, no. And
oh,
like,
mate.
Cool, man.
Have a 2-chi Negroni and shut the fuck up.
Knobhead.
Jesus.
But now they can't say shit because they'd be arguing with Jason Williams, Jason Crawley, both the Jasons. The biggest Jasons ever to come out of Australia. And like, I know Jason Chan's probably upset by me saying that, but he doesn't watch this shit. But like now they've got to argue with a whole line of bartenders that are selling 1,000 bottles of their product a month through there. That's epic. I love that you've done that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jason and Joe Alessandroni, for anyone who's watching in America, the guy who was behind Rig House and one of the, many other great bars in San Francisco. That was the team who put it all together. And Joe and Jason were actually leading the whole development of New Long Bar. So they did a great job.
I can't wait to go back now. Because it's been a few years since I had a Singapore sling at the Raffles. Yeah.
It's a good one.
Where were we? We'll wrap up so that you guys aren't stuck on the line. But I do have a question from Robert Wood, who's asking, hey Z, and he waves, are there plans to launch in the UK? So I have to ask you, when you come to the UK?
Well, 100%. We are actually working towards to be pretty close to being there. So I can't say when it's gonna be yet because I don't have a date. But UK is definitely on the map. It's the priority, and as soon as it happens, you guys will be the first one to hear, or I'll be screaming and shouting about it forever on all of the social media because I can't wait to be there. But yeah, 100%. We're looking into it, and I have to say a huge thank you to anyone who actually, including you, obviously, but there's several other people like Alex and Eric and many others who have helped me to gather information and then talking to clients and partners on the ground, which is all very helpful. But as I said, it's a pioneering thing. People are scared of novelty, and we can't move anywhere without people like you guys who are willing to kind of discuss it, talk about it, learn about it, and then find the ways how to implement it in. But UK is looking good. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it's a couple of months away.
Another quick question. Enrique Comas.
Oh, wow.
I know, wow, right? Just asked, can the bottles be relabeled or even engraved to reduce the number thrown out even more? Like, I think we went through this before, right?
Yeah, 100%. Can be. It's part of our ongoing development. Like the tote which you're looking at behind me, it's a third version of it. And we are already working on a fourth version and etc. We've played around with a few different things. I don't know if you guys, any sommeliers who are watching here, they would be familiar with it. But for very expensive old vintage wine, you can buy these super cool slick, like a made by 3M label coverages,
yep.
Or like a little foil. And so then, if you have something like Chateau Petrus from 75, whatever, and you want to keep it in your cellar, you put that over the label, and it basically will never get destroyed, even if it lies there for another 100 years. So that's one of the options we can do, that we basically would put that over the label, and that way, no matter how many times you wipe it, it will always be secured, and therefore you don't have to throw it away at all.
I'd have to say as well.
Like,
I'd have to say as well. Like, I mean, if I went to a bar and they were pouring Bacardi, right? Enrique Comas is commenting, and the bartender's there. He's doing these ones, and the bottle had a completely etched out or acid wash label. This was indestructible. It was like a slightly the same but different bottle. I might ask the question, what's the difference there? And as soon as I found out that it was less carbon emissions, like less waste, there was a closed loop system, and the easiest way to describe it would be, you know, the way the milkman used to deliver bottles of milk with just that little full cap on, and the bottle kept getting reused. But then suddenly we thought plastic was easier and we ditched the milkman. Well, the milkman's coming back, and the same thing's happening with spirits, right?
Yep.
I think the consumers on that side of the bar, especially in high-end cocktail venues and such, would really appreciate the brands that have gone the extra distance to buy into a completely carbon neutral,
for sure,
like an eco bottle for their eco totes. And I guess what you're saying as well, the protections for brands that haven't got there yet, because you're dealing with smaller brands that can't just design a bespoke bottle for one purpose, right? They'd have to give you the bottle they have.
It's what it is currently, but as I said, it's already on our drawing board of something to think about, because there is definitely a way how you can get away with even lesser of the already small amount of the bottles which you throw away. I mean, look, there's a fun story. 28 Hong Kong, Justin Pellock, our GM, at 28, he's ex Sweet Liberty from Miami, actually. We kind of swapped places.
Is that his flat?
He came up almost. But he came up with this awesome idea that they put a little leaf, green ecoSPIRITS drop, one of our little logos next to each cocktail, which use ecoSPIRITS as a base.
Very cool.
It kind of looks like your green leaf of vegetarian dish.
Yeah.
Get my Lululemons in the Instagram going. I'm fucking sold.
There you go.
There's 100 reasons to like this, but that's just gonna win the public, you know.
Yeah. I think there's consumer demand.
The important part.
I think
but
people will love it.
The fun story what you were talking about, that the guest would be commenting on it based on looking at bottle. That's what 28 did in a different way. They put a little disclaimer on the bottom of a page, and there it's if you Google it, it's anywhere in between 450 to 690 grams of carbon emissions is created by one bottle of spirit shipped around the world, right? It depends on what page you look at, but it's roughly around 450 to 690 grams. So like, let's say on average it's 550 grams. Every bottle distributed through the traditional distribution system creates 550 grams of emissions. What Justin and team did is that they divided that 550 by 15 and a half drinks, because that's what they can get out of one 700 ml bottle based on our 45 ml pour. And that gets you 30 grams of carbon emissions. So now they have our regular guests sitting at a bar arguing about how many drinks they had, therefore how many carbons they saved. They order more drinks because they want to win the battle of how much of carbon emissions is saved.
So people are sitting in 28 Hong Kong Street, like arguing about how many offset carbon emissions they've had through their drinks, right? If I drink one more drink, I can offset another 400 carbon emissions. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. That's special.
That's pretty amazing, actually. Like,
I mean, and on top of that is that, I don't know if you guys seen it, but we just announced it, that we have Green Steps partnership. If you look them up on Instagram, Green Steps. Super cool. Green Steps. Yeah, they plant trees around Indonesia. And so ecoSPIRITS as well is basically donating money from its profits to plant trees. And so if you're a bar on ecoSPIRITS, you get I think it's monthly information from us about how many trees were planted based on how much you purchased through ecoSPIRITS.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, I was reading this, and there's a GPS, so you can actually go look at your tree as well, right?
For like 2 years, I think they track
No.
it. Yeah,
Yeah, so
cool.
you can like get a photo of your tree and be like, oh, that's what people need to set the target for themselves. They need to have enough cocktails that they can get a tree. It's like, I got 6 trees, bitch. I got a forest.
What sort of tree is it? Because if it's a pine tree, I just want to be able to track it just in the lead up to Christmas.
it's Indonesia. Like Borneo is the one, so it would be hard to get a pine tree from there. But
okay,
I'll send you a link to the announcement so you can read through it.
Very cool, man. Well, look.
Okay, I got one more question though.
Yeah.
One more question for both of you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened to Pisco?
What happened to Pisco?
Where'd it go?
I love Pisco.
Well,
I haven't seen any Pisco in ages.
I mean, it's still pretty well used in Asia. Loads of people still have a Pisco cocktails on the menu.
What brands are you guys using though? What brands are you seeing then?
Well, it's Barsol is everywhere, and Encanto is coming back. That's pretty much it. Barsol and Encanto are the big things. And what is the one with numbers, like 1764 or whatever? The one with number that it has a date in it.
Who's bringing Encanto back?
Well, in Asia, it was us to start with.
In every country, it's different, though.
Yeah, and as far as I know, it's already available back in Asia through Proof in the company.
I actually have I have a Barsol like still that I own. I wonder what happened to that actually, because it used to be up there. I can't see it anymore. Damn it! What did I do with that still? I won it from a guy who he used to be a flair bartender in Vegas, and he won a massive competition in flair bartending, and the global prize was this Barsol Pisco still that was like handmade by the Sven Almening. Tried to buy it off me. He was like, I want that, right? It's rare as hell. But the guy got broke and sold it to me for 50 Australian dollars. I always told him, mate, you can I'll give you the $50. You don't have to give me something. And was his whole deal that he had to give me something. He almost sold me for $25 something like 50 what are they called? Hard Rock Cafe pins. You know Hard Rock Cafe, right? So the starting teams at every Hard Rock Cafe get these pins, and he used to collect them religiously. And apparently he was on the starting team of the Hard Rock Cafe off the coast of Miami, and the hurricane wiped it out before anyone opened it. So the Hard Rock Casino, I think it was, and they basically never opened it.
It's in West Palm, Fort Lauderdale.
And he has 2 of those pins that he was going to give me, and I was like, dude, I don't want your pins. Like, I'll just lend you money. You don't have to worry about the stuff. But now I kind of think I should have just taken those pins, right?
Damn, who was this guy? Was he chewing at his veins and itching a bunch at the same time?
No. He just moved to Brisbane and was used to being like the king shit bartender, and figured when he moves from Vegas to Brisbane, when he gets to Brisbane, there's going to be no one in Brisbane that knows shit about bartending. And then he got there and there were people that knew shit about bartending. So, yeah, he had a hard time. He's a professional fisherman now.
Dude, imagine moving from Vegas to Brisbane.
Yeah, but I
mean, it's from one casino city to another casino.
No, wait. Do you know what he?
Oh, true.
Get this right. So he went to work in a bar, and it was just an RSL, like a shitty, like places that have pokey machines and stuff.
Yeah.
So he didn't think too much of it, and rolled in, having not met any of the team, and so on the team was Sylvain Glatany. You know Sylvain Glatany? So Sylvain Glatany has won Roadhouse competitions and stuff. Like he's insane at flair. Happened to be in Brisbane at the time, and I went out clubbing one night and bought him a water, because at Family Nightclub they only had boiling hot water coming out of the taps, and he didn't have any money. So I was like, dude, I'll buy you water. So I bought him water, and he came and worked with me. Do you know Jay Lambert? You guys know Jay Lambert? So there was me, Sylvain Glatany, who's amazing at flair, Marco Nunez, who can flair as well, 2 French boys, and then Jay Lambert, Nick Chamberlain, like half of the then Bowery crew. Like, I'd put together this insane team, And then he got there, and just basically the whole team were really knowledgeable and good at what they did. And he was like, "Oh shit." Anyway, Josh was cool.
Guess I'll start selling our bar soul fucking stills.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I got sidetracked. So, where are we? Let's. It's 16:15 Pisco apparently. Diogo.
16:15.
Yeah. So guys, to wrap up, I'm not getting any more questions on this side. Des says he misses your face, Z.
Okay, misses that too.
So yeah, so ecoSPIRITS is a technology you can buy into. Which cities are you in now? Like where if you're a bartender watching this, might we be able to get it? And where do you plan to go soon so that people can be looking out for you?
We are in Singapore, and in Singapore we've been, as I said, almost 2 years operational. Although first year was really only seeing Raffles Hotel and 28 to kind of kickstart it and learn. We are in Hong Kong. We are in Shanghai. Shanghai is just launching last couple of months, and it's not going to work. It's looking great.
Where in Shanghai? Is it which bars in Shanghai, or have you just arrived building your closed loop system?
We just arrived and just start selling. So I would have to ask our master Chris Lauder.
Okay.
But it's from what I can see in our chats, it's looking really good. That people are embracing it, which is awesome.
Yeah. Shanghai is good like that.
And then we are in Melbourne, Sydney, Auckland, and Queenstown.
Cool.
Wow, you guys went for Queenstown before you went for Wellington?
Well, Wellington is both Queenstown and Wellington are serviced from Auckland for now because we're looking for partners down south.
I see. Right. So all the eco-backs would go back to a central cleaning station in Auckland, cleaning and filling station. Yeah.
Yeah. For now, because it's Singapore. New Zealand is just you would know being from there. It's a nightmare logistically in between the islands, so that's in general the rule is that each city has its own eco plant. But Queenstown is a small tiny town, and there is bars and groups which really wanted ecoSPIRITS, and so decision was made to do it this way for now.
And Bangkok.
We're still looking, and then Bangkok, yeah.
Cool. People are commenting. They're like, "Hey, Bangkok."
Yeah, Bangkok there.
Bangkok.
William called you out.
Yeah. Well, William is one of the great helps and pioneers for us. So it would be harder without him there. Same as Andre Pospichal and Philip Bishop and a few others.
So would it say it'd be safe if people are interested in this in their local markets? It would help you if they reached out to you and said, "Look, we're interested in this," even if it was able to give you an idea of demand?
Oh no, 100%. Like anyone who reaches out and say we don't have it here, but we would love to, is huge help, because that creates demand for the potential partners in the supply chain. That creates a well of notes from the industry luminaries, or the shakers and movers we can use for the government if we need to go through a few hoops and hurdles
to get around the government.
It happen.
Andre says hi as well. This is awesome.
Cool.
Okay. Well, Mitch, you've got to get out to the desert, right? You're going to go and and Z, I know that you're always busy, so thank you both so much for getting on the show. And I think we've more or less given people some idea of what ecoSPIRITS is. And if you want to do another episode, we can come back on and do another episode when you've got more video stuff so people can see it. Because I can play this again.
Lorenzo, what are you doing?
Sustainable workout. Beautiful, eco thoughts.
Right? Eco.
I want to try the juice. When can I try some widgets? Have you got something?
I'll be sending you. I'm getting first shipment here. Finally, we got approved by FDA that we can bring it in.
Z, wait, Mitch, I've got some here. Just come here. Come to the cabin. It'll be fine. Bring Karen, sit down. I'll cook a barbecue. I've got a giant egg. Have you cooked on an egg? Eggs are the best.
Yeah, eggs great.
Oh!
We had barbecue at the egg on Monday. We broke quarantine and went and visited some friends for one of those ceramic ones, the smokers.
Yeah, the big thing.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah. It was
Dean, just post my number and my email to this episode so people can reach out.
Are you sure?
You fucking
oh yeah, for sure.
I will send you fucking nudes myself.
I'll tell you.
I'll get a burner phone just to spam you.
You might as well just say it.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay. All right. I'll try. I'll
Yeah, without doubt, put it down.
All right, cool, man. Cool.
Shakers and movers.
Shakers and movers.
Here they come.
There
you go. All right. Thanks, guys. Love you both.
Zdenek,
I'm gonna do my
nice to
sign
see your
out.
faces, boys. You're gonna go
Be
fucking crunch numbers on the run.
And Z, I promise you, I will put all your personal details online. It's great. It's a great idea.
I'll send you my measurements too.
If you have an info, I already have your measurements, unless you've gotten fatter from the wedding. Remember, tailored suits from my.
Oh, true.
Yeah, you were both groomsmen at my wedding. Remember?
We were.
Didn't Zdenek get the jackets tailored?
What?
Didn't jackets get the jackets made?
Yeah, we had them. Z had the jackets made. No, actually, Melody had the jackets made, right?
Melody.
Yeah.
Not me.
Oh, bless her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's the best.
Can't wait to get champagne drunk with her again soon.
We should all do this. So on my 40th, right? 1 year. 1 year.
Oh, what are we doing?
I don't know. Electra has a plan apparently, which is probably better than my plan. My plan was to go back to the wedding venue and just with all my besties.
It would be fun. That was a fun venue.
Pina coladas and shit, but it's kind of far away. She probably has a way better idea. But we're doing that. We've got to hang out. Yeah. So remember, I don't know if either that or tickets. Tickets would be good. We could all go for dinner in Barcelona.
Yeah,
or we can do it here in Miami, halfway for everyone.
Yeah, I haven't been to Miami. I'm looking forward to going to Miami. I love it. So don't tell me if she does contact you, right? Because I want to.
Don't worry.
It'll be a surprise, but I also don't want to find out through someone else. I just want to kind of get it out of her.
Okay, don't worry.
All right, love you guys. Gotta go.
All right, ciao.
All right, ciao.